Lots to talk about here. Or is there really? Welcome to Yukiko's castle. The true place where I was like, I'm not ready. And to be fair, I remember when I first played Persona 4, the original, I was playing on one of my friend's PS3s on the port that had come out at the time, and anyway, I remember being very unprepared for this on normal back then. It was, I think, my first time playing a Persona game, not my introduction to the series, but my first time playing. And anyway, I had a lot of trouble. I remember dying awfully to that mid-boss, and of course, that game was a lot nicer to you, especially, you know, when you weren't on very hard, about letting you retry bosses. But anyway, enjoy the Yukiko encounter, and don't mind the notification noises. Alright, so this is where we fought Yukiko, or not Yukiko, Chie, so let me heal up real quick. Wrong item. I think items are better than wasting my SP right now. Yes? Are we gonna have another fight here? There's no way.
Yukiko?
She is Chariot, correct?
Yukiko-san!
This guy's reaction, yeah,
right?
kinda works.
Yukiko, what's wrong?
Oh my, special guests. I wonder how they'll play into all this. Things are really heating up. Okie dokie, I'm going back to hunt for my Prince Charming. Oh, where could he be? This place is huge. It's so exciting, but it makes it so hard to find him. Oh, maybe he's playing hide and seek in the fog. Ready or not, here I come. Let's go further in then, shall we?
What the hell is this?
You're not Yukiko. Who are you?
What are you talking about? I'm Yukiko, and Yukiko is me.
No! Don't tell me. Are you? Where's the real Yukiko?
Yeah, it's... I think that was one of my comments when I first heard Oya in Persona 5, actually. Just like, that's Yukiko.
These voices.
Let's see.
The shadows are getting agitated.
Well, I'm off again. You better be waiting with bells on, my dear prince.
Hey, wait! That clearly wasn't the real Yukiko. It had to be...
I think it was. It must have been the other part of herself.
The only person whose notifications would come through on stream.
So it's just like what happened to us.
But I don't think she was
I should mute
excited
it.
for nothing.
I didn't think to. I don't
The
ever
real
get them for the
Yukiko
most
wants
part,
to show us
so.
something. I can feel it. It's hard to explain. It seems like she has a strong connection to this castle. This is a lot more dangerous than I thought.
Yukiko!
Hey!
Not again. Damn it, we told her not to run off on her own.
I'll meet him in the future. Alright, actual time to talk about stuff without getting cut off, a minute in. Yep, so first I'd like to defend my decision of going in day one. Mostly that, no one seemed available on day one. I was like, can I do anything else? Not really. I might as well be efficient with my time. And, that's a big thing for me, at least with Persona games. Like, I like to be as efficient as possible with my time and get as much done as possible. That includes, of course, one-daying dungeons, and Yukiko's Castle is no exception. I think I've mentioned this at some point during something you'll hear during one of the episodes, but I talk about how Yukiko's Castle is done with just 3 party members, which is kind of harder than, having, the usual 4. And obviously, if you have ever played Persona 5, for example, you'll know that by the time you can freely roam the first dungeon in the game, you already have 4 party members available to you, and I mean, that might be why they made the mascot immediately usable in that game, as opposed to, well, Teddy being kinda not very helpful in battle. Now, that's in no way a bad thing. I kinda like the added challenge of the first dungeon having that little bit of extra difficulty, if only because eventually, when you actually have the resources, it's really no issue to kind of go through in one day. And, I mean, it didn't really help me when I first played Persona 5. I totally did not get that first palace done in one day, whereas I did get the rest of them done in one day anyway, so... And that's just kind of how these games are structured. I kind of like the way they're structured this way, because I don't want it to be incredibly hard to one day a dungeon or a palace or whatever you want to call them, because that's not really why I'm playing the game. In the end, I care about the story, I care about the characters, and I care about developing my characters. And so the second I don't have the ability to develop my links with my characters, I want to go into the dungeon and just get it over with. And hopefully, I'll get a chance to do something with a character on the next day. Anyway, as for information about this palace, because, I mean, I can try to show off some stuff later on, but, there's not all that much that's particularly exciting, and I've never found this part of a playthrough particularly interesting anyways. I will talk about how the palace ramps up its difficulty noticeably on floors 3, 5, and I believe 7. And it's very noticeable as you watch even just a sped up footage, as I just noticeably start to have some trouble with enemies, just partly due to my level mostly. And of course part of it is just them introducing new enemies on those floors. The other difficulty that naturally comes with the first dungeon is your lack of access to skills and abilities. As you may notice, Chie doesn't have a single magic attack outside of buffing attack, which is, I mean, not that helpful against regular enemies, considering you'll just run out of SP immediately. And so she sits there just doing physical attacks. At least she attacks last, so every so often I don't even have to really bother her, but that's pretty rare considering the low damage output. And, I mean, I need all the experience just fighting enemies as I could get this early on. I do think that my experience in Yukiko's Castle will help me in future dungeons. I mean, just knowing kind of how things scale, being reminded of it more so than anything else, I think is incredibly helpful. And with, a 4th party member and everything, it should be pretty good. I hope that I won't have to speed up as much footage and talk over as much. And hopefully I'll be able to keep my talking points actually interesting as a result, instead of rambling like I may be doing right now. Ha 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 ha. But anyway, ways of dying in the early portions of this dungeon mostly were just things I wasn't ready for, and in reality that's probably going to happen in any dungeon. So I just hope that I learned just kind of base lessons from this that I can use in future dungeons a little more effectively overall. I'm going to take these next few minutes to explain one of the mechanics in the game, just because I remember being asked on stream, and that there's no way I'm going to remember to slow that part down specifically. So, what I wanted to talk about was the sweep mechanics for the cards. So, if you have played the original Persona 4, you'll know that when you win fights, you'll occasionally just get a bunch of cards rotating around, and you just press A, and you kind of get the one that's gonna appear in front of you next. Now, the game did show off the cards to you before starting the rotation, so you could figure out what you were going to get, as long as you timed it properly. And if you didn't, well, then you got something else, and it wasn't great. So that was improved upon in Persona 4 Golden, as you can hopefully see, in that it actually lets you choose your cards immediately. And it only lets you choose one card, but every so often you can pick up a card that gives you another shot at a card. For example, there are cards that switch another card either to a Persona or to another Arcana. So the other Arcana cards can easily give you, a situation where you switch a Persona, say like a slime showed up, it'll switch it over to, say, a chest key or an avoid encounters card. And the exact opposite exists as well. And of course, those switch Persona cards don't necessarily switch a Persona to another Persona, they switch anything to another Persona. Then there are basically debuff cards, where for that battle they will have your experience or your money. Totally super a big deal in a very hard when you barely get any of either anyway. And then as a result you can pick up 2 more cards. They don't actually switch any of those cards, you can just pick up 2 more. And so if you're strategic, you can, in some cases, pick up every single card on the field. When you pick up every card on the field, you get a sweep bonus, and what that does is, in the future, you can pick up 3 cards instead of 1 when you beat a boss, which makes it very easy to kind of keep your streak going, because even if it didn't give you +1s, often it only gave you 3 cards in the first place. Now, of course, it is possible to lose your streak as well, but sometimes if you're efficient and look carefully at what you're doing, you can take all the cards without even taking one of the +2s, which will lower your experience or your money or something. So yeah, it's a better system, and you can easily just kind of work around what you need at the time. For example, it's actually incredibly helpful to take the plus HP and SP recovery cards for me. And oftentimes it's because that little bit of HP, or like that 4 or 5 SP that I got on each character, it's enough to survive a hit, or it's enough to, use another basic attack. And that's incredibly helpful, especially if you need to grind, which, as you can imagine, I did. So that's really how that works. If something wasn't clear, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to explain it a little bit better. And that's really the main sort of mechanic about beating fights. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is that for sweeps, when you pull off a sweep, you will automatically get a shuffle time, which is what those little events are called, at the end of the next battle. If you don't pull off a sweep, there's a chance you won't get one. And I believe it's dependent on getting 1 mores, your likelihood of getting a shuffle time at the end of a battle. Well, I think that's about it for this video. The rest of this video is going to be actual just footage of the stream. I hope that you can kind of see just how much kind of useless stuff there is, other than, if you're interested in reading the chat, there's a little bit of that, and that could be somewhat entertaining. The rest will be a little bit of raw unedited footage, and I think we'll come back to this. I'm going to try to fit all of Yukiko's castle into 3 episodes. I think that'll be sufficient.
Some thick skin.
It got back up! Hurry, Sensei! Sensei!
Really? Really? That's just a one hit from full. Like, it had to gather power every other time. Why did it suddenly get to do that? Can somebody explain? Like, that's literally just inconsistent at that point. Every other time it's used Mabufu, it gathered power the turn before. I can plan around it not being able to do that. I just need to know. I need to know in order to plan. I can literally use a go home instead. Yeah, that was just a random Mabufu out of nowhere. I had Ukobak up because I did not know it was possible for that enemy to just Mabufu without charging, because it had never happened before. So I didn't plan for it. It's alright. I wasn't particularly happy with what I got out of that run anyway, but...
I smell 3 enemies! Don't get careless! You're awesome, Sensei! Go, go, go! Go, Sensei! You knocked it down! You hit its weakness!
Gotcha!
I mean, I always just forget that this game is actually just harder than, 55 anyway, but... Change this persona, what am I getting? Okay. I'd rather have the encounter avoid. Vanish Ball kinda useless. Okay, it's not useless. It's useful in battles I need to escape. But...
Enemies! You can attack before them! Here go! That's it, Yosuke!
Go,
one enemy down! Attaboy, Yosuke! You're in the zone!
Yikes, it's tough!
Oh. Shuffle time? Oh. Pixie's not that important to get. Really? I mean, they notice me out of nowhere sometimes, and other times it's like literally not a problem to run up to them.
I smell 2 enemies!
Someone else's turn!
I guess. No, you're... I wouldn't have done that if I didn't think you were dead. But... Just kill her.
Awesome! She ate out in rampage mode!
Couldn't quite beat it.
That's some thick skin!
One enemy! Fight! Fight! Fight!
Got a life stone for that, which is probably better than the damage I took, so... Stairs. Oh, nice. I'm not even facing it at all. Somehow not an enemy advantage, honestly.
I smell 2 enemies! Beat them
It's
up!
not going down.
Die, please. No, no, not again, no.
Amazing, Sensei! Keep it up!
Yikes, it's tough.
Someone else's turn.
2 enemies left! Great, Sensei! Go for broke!
I don't mind killing this weapon. We're not using SP right now. I mashed. Whoops. There was nothing good there anyway, though. Like, I think money was like the best thing I could have gotten.
Sensei, are you okay? Your health...
Rival Bean's really good. Good map. This is maybe slightly better than last time. I'm still not getting sweeps, which is bad, but...
Sensei, are you okay? Your health's low!
Yep. I don't care.
Sensei, are you okay? Your health's...
Yep, I'm just gonna put you. You're noticing me.
I smell 2 enemies! Beat them up!
Let's do this. Persona!
This game
That's it,
can
Yosuke!
single-handedly
Enemy
take care
down!
of these guys with
It's not going down.
Oh, well, you took this map. Good. Nope. I don't have any... That's my big problem with this
2 enemies left!
cycle.
Awesome! Chie-chan's in rampage
Someone
mode!
else's turn.
Just 1 enemy left!
Someone finish it off!
Let's do this. Persona!
Just be careful. That's my plan.
Yosuke's in danger! He needs help!
Yep, I know.
It's down!
Is he still in danger?
You're
He's still in danger. Teddy.
Yosuke barely has any health!
Someone finish it off!
Just 1 enemy left!
Persona!
Kill yourself, Yosuke. Wait, I think that's the... Oh, that's fine. I think we need my skill card. I probably should have taken Ugo back, but...
Chie...
Good advantage. Oh wait, that wasn't an advantage.
I smell 2 enemies! Beat them up!
Someone else's turn.
That was cool, Yosuke!
Very nice. Who needs Ugo Bop when you can
It's
just miss
down!
him?
Good answer.
Someone finish it off!
Just 1 enemy left!
That's some thick skin.
That's fine. As long as I don't miss.
Are you alright, Sensei?
That's really bad. Are you kidding me? I think I'm dead.
It's tough.
Unless the crits.
Some thick
kills.
skin.
Oh, regular boost.
Yosuke's hurt!
You know what? That's
Someone
fine.
do something!
I don't understand this enemy now.
Wait,
That was
what?
a regular Bufu, not a... Don't know why they used regular Bufu. I didn't even know that was possible in that case. Yes, please. Beads are really good. I'll give it that. I can ambush you. Let's do it.
3 enemies, but they're... Oh,
Don't
there!
wanna fight you.
Now's your chance to run!
Don't want to fight you. Got the advantage. Easy run. Not doing it.
This is too much. I can't go on like this.
Okay, I need to test this, so I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go back down.
Chie-chan, your health...
This is too.
Oh, I should actually heal them. I have literally not healed once yet, so... Okay, that's not true. I think I used RPG. Force me to play tight. Let's do it. Red enemy that I just freaking missed the advantage on.
Uh-oh! This one's really strong! Oh, there! Now's your chance to run!
Nope, not fighting you if you're red. Got that advantage hit. Not happening. Can't be stupid. Is that an advantage?
That's a strong enemy! Don't get hurt!
Here go.
It's down!
Let's all right. Ready or not, here we come.
Yeah, bead's really good, for sure.
Just one enemy left!
Come on! Don't think. See.
Okay.
Uh-oh!
Other one?
This one's really strong!
Here go. Persona.
Really strong, huh?
A critical hit!
Now, all right. Out of our way.
Yosuke, you're doing really well.
One enemy! Fight! Fight!
Please.
Fight!
Yikes, it's tough.
That took.
Yeah, I know I'm rushing through everything right now, but that's fine. I just need to get back down. I need to test this. I need to save.
Sensei, are you okay? Your health's low!
Good point. Good point. I have a good bit of SP. If I can actually quick travel the fourth floor, like I think I can, this will be good. If I'm wrong, and the only quick travel point's on the 5th floor, which is possible, I'll be sad. But I'll have experience under my belt at least. Pick items, please. Lifestyle. Also, I should not feel like I shouldn't use items. Like, I'm on very hard, I think the point is I will need to use items. I walked the wrong way because I'm stupid, but that's fine.
2 enemies! They caught you off
It's honestly
guard!
fine. These guys die in... Okay. Yeah, it's fine. That's not fine.
Amazing, Sensei! Keep it up! 2 enemies left!
Someone finish it off!
Someone else's turn.
Yeah, Bash is doing pretty good.
Should we? Good answer. Out of our way.
We'll take it. Oh, shuffle time. I want this. It switched the wrong card. Oh crap. I'll take the healing. The slight healing is decent. For a revival beat, I think the fight is worth it. Something like that. Alright. I think this is where I start using save files very conservatively.
Huh?
Okay. Well, now we shall see. Yes, I agree, Raichu. Whatever, she says. Those are both good skill cards to be able to buy. Do I have another Persona right now? I don't. So this is still useless to me, mostly. It's okay. I need to pick up some Personas. 10 13 alarm. Well, we'll resave over 14 if I didn't use anything.